我们来看一下纳坦雅胡接受美国 ABC 电视台，它是一向对以色列跟对纳坦雅胡特别友善的一个电视媒体。纳坦雅胡接受专访的时候，首先他谈到，他说，主播问他说：“你怎么可以造成这么多加萨地区平民的伤亡呢？”他说：“我怀疑加萨卫生部所公布的数字。”所以布林肯美国国务卿在星期五美国的时间反驳了纳坦雅胡的说法。他说，整个在当地死亡的人数超过了加萨卫生部的所统计的数字。美国的《纽约时报》也做了事实查核，他们发现加萨卫生部是怎么算出死亡人数，它是按照尸体上面的号码，就一具尸体一个号码，所以他们也认为这是低估的。而布林肯说的数字比加萨卫生部的数字还要高，加萨说1万人。结果布林肯说11000人，这是美国的国务卿。而纳坦雅胡在 ABC 接受访问的时候说：“我不相信这数字，这数字就是加萨卫生部，这是完全就是他就是反正是他们说的，他们说的话通通都是假的。”第二个被问到说，将来战后你要怎么处理这里？他说了实话，我刚刚说了一大堆，大家都听不清楚，可能听清楚了，可是不知道哪一个是真的，哪一个是假的。告诉大家真话是什么？真话就纳坦雅胡说，以色列将无限期承担加萨全面的安全责任，听懂吗？
就在美国国务卿布林肯和中情局局长伯恩斯接连出访中东地区，预防以哈战争外溢，疏通加萨人道救援之际，越来越像美国老大的以色列总理纳坦雅胡接受美国 ABC 新闻主播专访时，对战后加萨的处置首度给出答案。
Who should govern Gaza when this is over?
I think Israel will, for an indefinite period, will have the overall security responsibility because we've seen what happens when we don't have it.
纳坦雅胡的回答引发拜登政府连忙重申不支持以色列重新占领加萨。不过，纵使2005年以色列军队和占据者都离开加萨，以色列持续控制加萨的陆海空，管控加萨的物流和人流。就大多数的法律定义来看，以色列依旧占领加萨，把加萨变成一座大型的露天监狱。现在纳坦雅胡说要重掌加萨安全，也就是意指以色列将更加严格控制所有进出加萨的通道，只要感觉以色列安全受威胁，就可任意在加萨出动军警扫除威胁。
They never allowed the Palestinians to control their own borders. They never, and as you can see here, they can cut off water, power, electricity to them anytime they want. And the way that they control the Palestinians in Gaza was already enormous. But now Netanyahu is saying, no, we're going to go all the way back to old school and run the security there, which means not only is it an open-air prison, but we're putting our guards back in, and any missteps within Gaza will probably lead to either imprisonment or execution immediately, and that's usually how an occupation works.
这样的安全控管就如同以色列占领西岸的模式，允许巴勒斯坦政府拥有治理权，但以色列用军警全面控制西岸的安全，实际上限制了巴勒斯坦人的公民权和行动自由，并扩大以色列人的占据范围。
There are already nearly 300 settlements, and the Israeli government is planning more, despite them being illegal under international law.
We've also seen Palestinian families being moved out of their home, packing up their things just last week, not far away from here.
Because they want to immigrate, because
they say they were forced off their land.
They want to immigrate. I encourage that they will immigrate because this is not their land, this is our land.
以色列1个多月来猛烈攻击加萨，誓言消灭哈马斯，人质还在纳坦雅胡的考量中吗？
You have refused any temporary pause that doesn't include the return of hostages. You mentioned that right here with me again today. I'm curious what you would say to the families of those hostages who believe that this mounting civilian death toll in Gaza, now at 10,000, is putting their own loved ones, these hostages, at greater risk.
There's no one who wants to get our hostages back more than us. I think that it's important to understand that there is no way to defeat terrorists embedded in a civilian population without going as targeted a way as you can against the terrorists. But there will be, unfortunately, these civilian casualties.
Regarding the hostages, I think they've set themselves, unfortunately, the government, two incompatible targets. One is to eliminate Hamas, and the other is to rescue the hostages. I can't see how that's possible. What's desperately needed now, as I say, is a complete end to hostilities, and so proper negotiations can get on the way. First and foremost, save the hostages, but equally save the 2.3 million people in Gaza who are now living in a human catastrophe.
以色列的报复攻击普遍被认为超过国际战争法允许的范围，全球很少压倒性支持以色列的轰炸，造成大量儿童死亡。对此，纳坦雅胡认为，加萨卫生部公布的死亡人数不全然都是平民，当中还包括哈马斯成员。
When you start to see numbers that are difficult to wrap your head around, 10,000 Palestinian civilians. Is there a more targeted approach in going after Hamas being explored here to try to minimize the number of Palestinian civilians who are not Hamas, who are not militants, who've lost their lives here?
The answer is yes. First of all, I wouldn't take those numbers at face value. I think we have to check them, and there are quite a few, several thousand Palestinian combatants there. That is Hamas terrorists that are incorporated in those numbers. It's a very tough enemy, but we can't let them have immunity. If we let them have immunity, David, then barbarians win.
The Israeli occupation has killed over 4,000 children so far in Gaza, in addition to the injury of 10,000 children. We measured that the Israeli occupation is killing one child every 10 minutes, while injuring two others, which threatens childhood in Gaza. Today, Gaza Strip has become a real cemetery for children and women, whereby 70% of the victims of the assault are women and children.
哈马斯成功突袭以色列，凸显出全球最强的情报机构以色列摩萨德的缺失，没有做好保护以色列民众的工作。纳坦雅胡数度拒绝表明自己是否会承担失职的责任。这回在 ABC 新闻主播2度质问下，他才说等到战后就会就责。
But you know what I'm asking here, because so many Israeli officials, including the defense minister, the military intelligence chief, the military chief of staff, they've all taken some responsibility for Israel being caught off guard. They didn't say we have to wait for an investigation here. Do you believe that you should take any responsibility?
Of course. That's not a question. It's got to be resolved after the war.
The one thing that Bibi Netanyahu has always said is his thing is that he is Mr. Security. So he is the man that will guarantee Israel's safety and security. And on his watch has been the largest massacre of Israelis and Jews since the Holocaust. So his days are numbered.
纳坦雅胡没有和乌克兰总统泽伦斯基一样，因为带领国家消灭外敌哈马斯，进而拉抬支持率。民调显示，10月7号哈马斯发动突袭后，高达近80%以色列受访者认为纳坦雅胡应该下台，2/3的民众认为战后应该立刻举行选举。纳坦雅胡在专访中一贯的好战发言，希望重塑自己是捍卫以色列安全的唯一人选。